away from this shameful past, and we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities.
Catholics showed up in the rain to pray the rosary in front of Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer's house. Catholic Vote organized the Rosary Rally for Religious Respect after the Democrat governor posted a video online seemingly mocking the sacrament of the Holy Communion. In the video, Whitmer is wearing a Harris Waltz hat as she feeds Doritos to a kneeling podcast host. The governor says the video was meant to spotlight the 2022 Chips and Science Act, but religious groups took offense to that post. Whitmer has apologized, saying she quote, would never do something to denigrate someone's faith.
Okay, so I'm just curious, what exactly is the strategy for this campaign? I'm just curious. Because you go out on Columbus Day and you call it Indigenous Peoples Day, and you then proceed to talk about basically European bad and Europeans brought diseases and all that type of stuff. And whether you agree with that or not, that right there is not what we're talking about over the course of this video, because I find that debate to be pretty daggone boring, even though I am definitely going to come back to it a little bit in this video here. So make sure you guys stick around for the full piece. But also finding a way to have one of your campaign surrogates mock Catholics, and of course that right there being Gretchen Whitmer mocking the Holy Sacrament. Yeah, it makes you wonder exactly what exactly is going on at the Kamala Harris campaign headquarters. Okay, so you guys obviously just saw that little bit from Fox and Friends, where of course, you know, you had this very, very small amount that Kamala Harris said on Columbus Day. And of course, also from Fox and Friends, you guys saw obviously the backlash that's going on with Gretchen Whitmer mocking the Holy Sacrament. Now, guys, really quick, this video right here is not about Columbus Day. It's not even really about the mocking of the Holy Sacrament. It's also not really and truly about, let's just say, what you guys are about to see here in a second, because even Charlemagne the God a couple of weeks ago called this nonsense out. Of course, that right there being the trends issue, and of course, Trump even turned it to a campaign ad.
Supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money.
Kamala even supports letting biological men compete against our girls in their sports. Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this.
I'm going to be asking the question, as you guys obviously saw there, why in the world is Kamala Harris going along with this strategy to just piss everybody off? Well, that right there would baffle a lot of people, especially those who might be new to politics. But of course, I've been dealing with politics and seeing this stuff for a while, and kind of been noticing a bit of a trend with the left and the far left. Now, before we get started, make sure you guys please go ahead and cut your notifications on, so that way you guys are notified of the videos and when they come out. Please hit the like button if you guys are new here. Welcome to the channel. Also, please at the same time, please also hit the subscribe button if you guys can. It's free. Also, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I appreciate you guys coming back around. And let's go ahead and dive into this. Now, you've had Columbus Day. You've had this incident, which of course would piss off Italians. Italians that, quite frankly, she's probably going to need. She's definitely going to need, because, of course, there are a lot of Italians who are in states like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, that, of course, vote Democrat, of course. There's also a lot of Italians south of the Mason-Dixon that vote Democrat, even those in Florida. There's also ones in Chicago who vote Democrat. And even though we already know that Illinois is going to vote Democrat this election, even though we know New Jersey is probably going to vote Democrat this election, it's still not a good idea to alienate voters, especially voters who, let's just say, disagree with you on the topic of Columbus. Now, we're going to be coming back to that issue a little bit in this video, but we're not going to go into the whole debate situation. I'm just going to give you guys some quick thoughts on it and why it is that the issue itself is just a non-starter, a non-good idea to bring up during a campaign, especially if you're trying to bring yourself back to the center. Then I realize that the real problem that they're having is not so much with the center, which of course they're still having a problem with the center, but it's with the radical side of the base. Also, hence the reason why it is that Gretchen Whitmer thought it was a good idea to basically mock the Holy Sacrament by putting a Dorito in this woman's mouth while wearing a Harris Waltz campaign hat. Some people, by the way, believe that what's really going on is that Gretchen Whitmer is trying to sabotage Kamala Harris's campaign because Gretchen Whitmer plans on running for president in 2028, but who the hell knows at this point in time? Like I've always said, and I said in the previous video I just recorded, Democrats are going to do Democrat things, especially when it comes to election time. Don't worry, I'll talk about what you guys saw in that ad featuring Charlemagne the Fraud here over the course of this video. So like I said, make sure you guys stick around for the full bit. It's not going to be that long of a video. It's going to be a very, very quick and concise one, which, by the way, is something you guys probably need to go ahead and kind of sort of get used to going into 2025, because obviously, as I guys said, told you guys before, after this year, we're going to be kind of changing some things up. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's take a look at exactly what was said, what was actually posted to X, what actually went viral. Let's watch this drivel so that way I can come back and tell you guys why it's a bad idea for her to do this, but why it is the strategy may in fact mean be, let's just say, getting out the more radical side of the base. Let's go ahead and watch this.
As we speak truth about our nation's history. Since 1934, every October, the United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas. But that is not the whole story. That has never been the whole story. Those explorers ushered in a wave of devastation for tribal nations, perpetrating violence, stealing land, and spreading disease. We must not shy away from this shameful past, and we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities.
Now, obviously, none of what Kamala Harris said right there, I agree with. I don't believe a conquered people deserve a holiday. All right, it's Columbus Day. It will remain Columbus Day. Not too many people, except the craziest of the crazy, call it Indigenous Peoples Day. It just doesn't make any sense. It's also too long, too. And like I said before, these people got conquered. And not to mention, these people were also slaughtering themselves before Columbus even got ashore. Like I've said before, this is not a video that's designed to talk about the Columbus debate. But of course, there are some people who have even pulled down their content because of it. I mean, even knowing better had to come out and apologize for his video, which he was 100% correct on. But of course, he bowed to the woke mob. Me, on the other hand, I never will. I don't care who the hell I piss off. The debate is obviously tiring. It's a debate that, quite frankly, people are just sick and tired of having. It's like the whole Black Hills thing. People don't seem to realize these people were killing themselves long before we even approached. So, I mean, people don't want to hear this crap because it feels like it's preachy. And of course, to go on top of that, you got a lot of Italian Americans out there who are going to be pissed off with this once they hear her call it Indigenous Peoples Day and basically say that Christopher Columbus and white Europeans were bad. But anyway, okay, so obviously there's a lot there. Shameful history, shameful past. It seems to me like what she's doing is she's trying to lean into the woke crowd. She's trying to lean into the college crowd. Well, Kamala Harris was recently doing a campaign event in my neck of the woods right down the road from where I live at the university that I graduated from. And all I got to say to you guys is this here. I live roughly maybe 500 yards from the place. I don't even think it's really that far. Of course, I used to go to school there, take the bus to go to the main campus. Of course, that would be in the Coliseum where the team, of course, plays basketball. And I got to tell you guys right now, compared to 2019 when Trump was here, there was nobody there. Compared to the 2019 rally that Trump had in the city that I live in. The truth is this right here. When Trump was here in 2019, you could actually hear the crowd down the street from where I was living. I could step outside the back and actually hear people screaming because, of course, the crowd was there. It was a very, very large crowd. Kamala Harris is not getting any support at all. She's not getting the support level that the mainstream media would lead you to believe. And, of course, we've even talked about those crowd sizes that they suddenly are obsessing about, and we've already proven how it is that a lot of these people are bussed in. And, of course, she's also using the Hillary Clinton tactic of what? Going to some of these events, which, of course, are actually concerts that then eventually turn into Kamala Harris events, a lot like what Hillary Clinton used to do when she would show up at Beyonce and Jay-Z events. The Kamala Harris signs that were all put up 2 weeks ago near where I live at have already came down. There's not much enthusiasm for her, and I live in a university town. Of course, I also live in a sort of a reddish-purple state, but still at the same time, though, as you guys can probably pick up on what I'm saying, the excitement's just not there. The truth be told is the Biden administration, when they came in, they promised their left-wing radical base way too daggone much. And these people did not understand basic civics. They didn't understand that in order to codify Roe v. Wade, you would need 60 votes in the Senate. They didn't understand that to get Build Back Better done, you would need 60 votes. They also did not understand that the Voting Rights Act that these people were trying to pass, which basically would have legalized mail-in voting, and of course all the other crap that we got to deal with every election cycle, that right there also needed 60 votes. Gun control would have needed 60 votes. The truth be told is this here. Like I said, they promised their base a little bit too much, and their base, of course, has been blackpilled by the prospect that, of course, the Biden administration has not passed the stuff that they want. Healthcare, free healthcare, the normal crap these people clamor for. But of course, they've also tried to forgive student loans. And of course, if you try to forgive student loans, it's going to piss off a lot of people that did not go to college, who quite frankly should not be forced to pay for the student loan debt of so many kids who quite frankly waste their time in college. I don't think I need to go through all that, but I'm pretty sure you guys are picking up on what I'm saying. And that is, of course, that people don't like to pay for the mistakes of others, or they don't like to pay for the laziness of others. Each time that Joe Biden has tried to get that done, he signs an executive order, and the executive order immediately gets struck down by the Supreme Court, because if these radical leftists understood how our system of government works, they understood how the law works, they would understand that an executive order, which of course goes to the executive branch of the United States, meaning it would probably go through the Department of Education or Department of Treasury, it would still find its way to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court would look at this and say this is unconstitutional, and therefore this right cannot stand. And that's the base of support that the Biden administration was hurting with the most. But Biden was actually still doing okay with independents, actual moderates. However, when Kamala Harris became the nominee, people automatically thought to themselves, you know what, she's the border czar. I remember them saying that. Of course, people were obviously frustrated about the border crisis and all the chaos and all the danger that could bring, and of course the crap that we're still dealing with. They were obviously still talking about inflation and stuff. And even though Biden was beginning to wane the polls, as I have said before, that Biden was probably their best chance at winning, or at least holding the Senate. I still don't believe he would have won, but he would have been at least able to hold the United States Senate, which has also got a lot of senators out there wondering, especially Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin, who quite frankly is out of money. She's ran bone dry. They've got these people saying, I don't want to campaign next to her. Even Alyssa Slotkin in Michigan stated that Kamala Harris was underwater there, and she was scared that Kamala Harris was dragging down the ticket.
This is I'm not feeling my best right now about where we are on Kamala Harris in a place like Michigan right now. We have her underwater in our polling.
I didn't say that verbatim, as you guys saw, but I'm pretty sure you guys kind of get the point. What's happening here is that Kamala Harris is leaning into the radical section of the base. That's the only thing that she has. She's got the gen support there. However, she's doing it at the cost of true, pure independents that would not exactly be on board with the radical stuff of the party, which makes you automatically think that maybe she is, in fact, trying to throw the election. However, there is something else that a lot of people have not noticed, and a lot of people have actually forgotten about, that, of course, makes these people look more and more and more delusional once you peel back the first layer of the onion. And that is, this is exactly the strategy that Barack Obama had back in 2012. You see, when Obama got elected in 2008, what Obama did was he was able to win independents. He was able to win independent conservatives. He even took some Republican votes, and he was also able to run up the support in the overall Democratic Party base. Every Democrat out there was voting for Barack Obama, also including just about every single independent. John McCain wasn't exactly a strong candidate. However, when Obama became president, people were not impressed by him. His approval rating, which was close to 60% when he first came into office, suddenly dipped below 45%, and they also noticed that his rhetoric was extremely divisive, and a lot of people were turned off by it. But of course, he was able to get bin Laden taken care of. And of course, they had the other bills that he signed that some people thought were a good idea. I personally did not. Cash for clunkers didn't seem like a bad idea, but of course, every other failure, from Solyndra to the 800 some odd billion dollars that was spent in stimulus money to produce jobs that just were not there, and of course the stagnating of the economy, and of course Obamacare, which was thrown completely or stashed completely down our throats without our actual say-so, just rammed through. If you guys remember, it's such a good bill that you got to pass it before you can actually read it. That type of crap there. People ultimately got tired of it. So you would have thought that these people would have voted for Mitt Romney in droves, but of course Mitt Romney was a very, very weak candidate. What happened is that Obama leaned more into the far left, radical, liberal side of the base, and that is what ultimately supported him in 2012 and got him over. They completely lost the center then. Hillary Clinton was trying to bring back the center, but of course Hillary Clinton was not successful in doing so because she also pandered more and more and more to the left. Of course, that was because Bernie Sanders supporters were pissed off because they felt Bernie might have gotten robbed during the 2016 Democratic primary. And COVID comes around, of course, everybody in the whole world is voting against COVID. They're voting to go back to work. They're voting to, of course, to get off of unemployment. They felt that Joe Biden was probably going to be the better route because things weren't working at the time when Trump was in office, even though it was Democrat governors who really put the strain on the country, put the strain on those states. I'm pretty sure you guys kind of get the point. It was like the breaking point. People say, I can't take this crap anymore. Just give me somebody else so I can get back to work. Now these people are obviously regretting it. As a matter of fact, listening to Barnes and Barris on Monday, of course, I re-listened to it earlier this morning before I got stuff prepared for this video. It's, let's just put it this way here. A lot of those quote-unquote first-time voters during COVID who voted for Biden are staying home this election cycle. I wonder why. And some of them, of course, are even voting for Trump. So obviously with Trump's base there, it looks like Trump has got a better shot at winning, especially given the fact that Kamala Harris is once again, like Barack Obama did in 2012, she is sacrificing the center to get the much, much more radical crowd. However, she's running into other problems. She's not doing well with black men. Obama did great with black men. She's not doing well with Hispanics. Obama did great with Hispanics. The only base of support that Kamala Harris is doing good with is white liberals. And what I mean by white liberals, I mean suburban liberals. There are not enough of those people out there to get her over. Which brings me back to what I was playing for you guys at the beginning of the Charlamagne Man the God ad, where, of course, it was revealed that Kamala Harris was very, very much in favor of taxpayer-funded in the prison. I got to say it funny because of the algorithm. Normal people, normal Americans, normal blue-collar people, everyday, ordinary people, saw the earth, down to earth, don't want their taxpayer dollars paying for this type of radical horse crap, all right? They don't want this. They don't want their military to go woke. They don't want prisons to be woke. They don't want biological men playing in women's sports. Gotta say it very funny because the algorithm, most Google remove you from the platform. They don't want that. Normal people don't like that type of stuff. So therefore, normal people are going to do one or two things. Most of them are going to go vote for Trump because obviously they don't want to see this crap go on any further. They're going to vote with their wallet because that's how most people will vote. They vote with their wallets. Two largest indicators on how an election is going to go is, number one, are you prosperous? And number two, do you feel secure? We have a border crisis. We have all kinds of people pouring over the border at this moment in time. We've got a war going on between Russia and Ukraine that, quite frankly, we're making a lot worse by sending more and more money over there. We got a war going on in the Middle East and the Gaza Strip between Israel and Gaza. And, of course, now Lebanon has gotten involved with Iran. We've also got China, of course, they were rallying. And, of course, earlier this year, Venezuela looked like they were going to invade Guyana. The fact of the matter is that people don't feel safe and people also don't feel prosperous in this economy. Abortion is at the very, very bottom of the list, so nobody's going to vote based off that except the most radical of women out there, and there's not enough of them. It seems like there's a lot of radical feminists out there, but trust me, there's not enough to actually get her over. Same thing with suburban liberals. They're not going to be as large of the electorate as you might would think. And that right there is the reason why it is that I think Kamala Harris has decided to take this particular strategy, which of course only alienates people. It's a desperate attempt is all it is. It's just pure desperation. But as the words of Captain Kirk, and let me just go ahead and remind you.
Believe them. Don't trust them. They are dying. Let them die. Let them die.
I 100% agree with him. But you guys, please tell me what you think in the comment section. I would love to hear what you guys have got to say. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sound off in the comment section, and I'll see you guys later.